agara, dara, atmaja, vitta, bandhushu, sango. This kind of association is not as much appreciated. What is that? Agara. Agara here is given as house, elsewhere I've seen it as prison house. The prison house of Dharatmaja Vitta Bandhu. Friends, money, children, and wife. Sostriya Maitani Bhavameta Tayorita Riya Grantama Tadrida Kshetra Sutata Dittai Janasya Mohomyam Aham Bhameti. In a lecture which later became the pamphlet Transcendental Teachings of Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada paraphrases Prahlad Maharaj is saying, material life begins when we see a girl and we think, she's nice. The spirit of the spiritual world is the spirit of giving pleasure to Krishna. And the spirit of the material world is to try to get pleasure for ourselves. Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tari Kam Krishnendriya Priti Vancha Tari Prema Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Atmendriya Priti Vancha, Atma Indriya Priti. Priti means affection, love, or, Priti. Common Indian girl's name. Priti. Atmendriya Priti, love of one's own sense gratification. Atma Indriya. That we want to please our own senses. Atmendriya Priti. Vancha Tarivalikam. Kaviraj Goswami said, that's what we call lust. Kam. And Krishnendriya Priti Vancha, the desire to please the senses of Krishna, Tari Premana. That's what's called prema, love for Krishna. So, the goal of the pure devotee is prema, not kama. Kama syanendriya pritir, lavo jiveta yavata. Jivasya tattva jigyasa nartoyas jeha karma bhi. The kamasya na indriya priti. Human life should not be aimed at indriya priti, sense gratification. Of course, sense gratification is required. Prabhupada said that sense gratification is like salt. Too much salt and you can't eat. But too little salt and you also can't eat. Some salt has to be there, but not much. So, jivasya tattva jigyasa. What is that? Nartas kamasya na indriya priti labho jiveta yavata. How much sense gratification is required? Enough to carry on with our life. Labho jiveta yavata. Enough to keep keep living. Eating is required. You can't say eating is sense gratification. I'm going to stop. Sleeping, I'm going to stop. Sex life. One can say, I'm going to stop, or I'm not going to get involved. But that may not be possible for everyone. And therefore some concession is given that, all right, one man, one woman, under regulative principles, sex for having good children is accepted. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi paritarshi. Krishna says, I appear in the form of kama, which is dharma aviruddha, sense gratification, sex life, which is not contrary to dharma. Not contrary to dharma is explained by Srila Sridhar Swami and Srila Baladev Vijibhushan and Srila Prabhupada as meaning only between husband and wife, and only for this sake, and only once a month for the sake of having children. That's dharma viruddha. Not sense gratification, not sex for recreation, sex as much as we like, sex unrestricted. That will be harmful or practically fatal. Not fatal, but very destructive to Krishna consciousness. There's another narrative that Prabhupada taught sort of a strict standard and a less strict standard for sex life. The strict standard is the one we know, the one I just said, no sex except in marriage and for the sake of children. And the less strict standard is, well, in marriage. The only standard I ever heard Prabhupada give was the first one. Did you ever hear the second one, Maharaj?
I heard it, but not from Prabhupada.
You heard it, but not from Prabhupada. Yeah, we've heard it many times, but not from Prabhupada. There's, for those who sort of teach the doctrine of the standard and the less strict standard, the strict standard and the less strict standard, there's an implicit issue which is not spoken about. The issue is, what do you do if you want to have sex, but you don't want to have children? And the answer, of course, is that you use contraceptives. But Srila Prabhupada didn't have a strict standard and a less strict standard for contraceptives. He outright says in many places that it's sinful, that's all. So, the contraceptive method Prabhupada approved was self-control. The easiest method of self-control is called brahmacharya life. Best just not to get started. Otherwise, if that's inconvenient, too difficult, then married life. But there also, sex should be controlled. Otherwise, spiritual advancement will be very slow. Because this is the focus of sense gratification. Here, Prahlad Maharaj is speaking about legitimate sex, or the products of legitimate sex. Dara, one's legitimate wife; Atmaja, one's legitimate children; Vitta, the money that's involved in supporting and maintaining; Bandhushu, the friends; the house. This is all legitimate. And yet Prahlad Maharaj says, I pray never to feel attracted to this. He doesn't pray, let me never be attracted to running around with various women, and no, let me not be attracted to the legitimate life of sense gratification. Very strong. Then what, and he says, Sango yadi syad, if there has to be association, well, there has to be association. Man is a social animal, and woman is an even more social animal. Men and women, they're both social. So if there has to be association, Sango yadi syad, bhagavat priyeshu, then let it be for those for whom Krishna is dear, not for whom sense gratification is dear. Indriya priti, bhagavat priti. Let me have the association of those who are looking toward pleasing the senses of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Ya prana vritya paritushta atmavan. Prana vritya means those who just maintain their life. It means the same thing as labho jiveta yavata. Those who just take as much as they need to maintain themselves, to stay alive, to live. Prana vritya. Prana means life. To keep the life. Prabhupada's phrase was, keep body and soul together. When body and soul are separated, that's the end. So the body and soul should be kept together. That means one should eat nicely, one should have sufficient salt, but not more. How is that possible? It's possible when one is paritushta, fully satisfied. Paritushta. Tushta means satisfied. Paritushta, satisfied in all respects. How does one become satisfied? One becomes satisfied when one is Krishna conscious. Atmavan, when one is self-controlled, or when one is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, here in Vishnath, fully determined. Fully determined. The senses want to go here, there, and everywhere. So who can control the senses? A person who's determined. Otherwise, without determination, the senses will win. Mm-hmm. Just like one who wants to avoid excessive taxes, he has to be very determined. He does all the math, maybe he hires an accountant, because otherwise the government will take everything. One has to be determined. We're determined to stay healthy, we're determined to make money, we're determined to get a pizza, we're determined for so many things. So one should be determined to be engaged in Krishna consciousness. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that in this way one is satisfied, he begs and gets some food because he's determined. One who satisfies his senses reaches perfection slowly. Slowly. In the verse it said, Adurat, one who's Siddhyati Adurat, one who's Krishna conscious, attains perfection very quickly. Bhavati, what is that? Nadurat Partha Maya Veshata Chetasam. What is that verse? Yeah. Tesham aham samudharta mrityu sangsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshata chetasa. For one who's always engaged in Krishna consciousness, Tesham aham samudharta mrityu sangsara sagara. I quickly lift him from the ocean of birth and death. Nachirat, not after a long time, quickly. So adurat, nachirat. Why? Maya veshata chetasam, because he's absorbed in thinking of me. So I'm absorbed in thinking of him. Yeyata mam prapadyante tam stataiva pachamyaham. Sadhavo hridiyam mayam sadhavo hridiyam tvam. So the Krishna conscious person wants to associate with those who are Krishna conscious. In the commentaries, the previous acharyas mentioned that the good association, accepting good association is even more important than giving up bad association. Giving up bad association is very important. At once, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Asat Sangha Tyag, E Vaishnavachar, to give up Asat Sangha, that's the business of the Vaishnav. Stri Sangi Eka Sadhu, Krishna Bhaktar. But even more important than giving up bad association is getting good association. No one actually becomes Krishna conscious by giving up bad association. If all we do is give up bad association, then we're alone. Especially in Kali Yuga, anyone who gives up bad association will be off in the desert somewhere. But one becomes Krishna conscious by good association. By good association. What is that? Satsanga Dvaramahur Vimukte. Satam, what is that? No. Satam. Yeah, no, that's, I thought of that first. There's another one? Third canto, Kapila Dev's teachings. Dvaramahur Vimukte. Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangha. Mahat Sevam Dwarama Vimukte. Okay, thank you. Mahat Sevam Dwarama. By service to a devotee, the door to liberation is open. And Tamo Dwaram, the door to darkness, Tamo Dwaram, Tamo Dwaram Yoshiti Sangas, is the association of those who are attached to women for sense gratification. It's coming up. Wow, okay. Tamo Dwaram Yoshita Sangi Sangam. Yoshita Sangi, he doesn't say the association of women is the door to darkness. He says the association of those who are attached to women. Mm-hmm. That's the disease. So the pure devotee may even associate with women. He may even have a house. He may even have children. He may even have money. He'll have friends. But his real friend is Krishna. His real business is Krishna consciousness, not Atma Dara, not Atmaja Dara, Pitta. His real interest is Krishna, and the other, everything else, that's as far as it's useful for the service of Krishna. Mm-hmm. He lives, Prabhupada explains this in Bhagavad Gita, he lives in family life, not for sense gratification, but for the service of Krishna. Living in family life for sense gratification is the business of the cats and dogs. That's what they do. But the human beings, or the Vaishnava human beings, the best of the human beings, they may also live in family life, but just to serve Guru and Gauranga, to serve the spiritual master, to serve Krishna. Then he can make quick progress. By the association of devotees, automatically he becomes uninterested in the association of materialistic people. Just by giving up the association of materialists, one doesn't become attracted to Krishna. But by taking up the association of devotees, one becomes attracted to Krishna and one forgets about the bad association. Maybe quickly, maybe slowly, but once he gets the association of devotees, what do I want those people for? The non-devotees. Ugh. They're eating this, they're smoking that. Ugh. He thinks after some time, what was I associating with those people for? So this is the benefit of association with devotees. It's the root cause of Krishna Bhakti, Mul Sadhu Sangha. Therefore, in the Bhagavatam, in Tulayama Lavenapi Naswarga Na Punardhanam Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kimuta Shishaha. If one gets a moment, Tulayama Lavenapi. Lavena means for a moment. Even for a moment, Lavenapi, if one gets the Bhagavad Sangi Sangha, the association of those who are associated with Krishna, then Tulayama Lavenapi, Nasvargam, even the perfection of going to the heavenly planets becomes insignificant. What is that? Tridashapura Akasha Pushpayate. It's like a palace in the sky. It's just a dream, and he's not interested. Naswargam na punarbhavam. Even liberation from birth and death becomes a small thing. Martyanam kim utashisha. What to speak of blessings, the blessings pursued by those who are committed to the materialistic life of birth and death. If one gets even a moment's association with a Vaishnav, then his life becomes successful. So Prahlad Maharaj prays for that association. Let me never be attached to this business of house, wife, children, bank balance, friends, relatives. Let me be attached to the association of those who are associated with Krishna, Bhagavat Priya, those who hold Krishna dear to their hearts. Let me always have that association. That will be the best attainment. Even loving api, even for a moment, if we can get that association, it's so valuable. One's whole life can become perfect. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastre Koi, Labhamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoi. All the Shastras are calling out, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. And what is a sadhu? Sadhureva samantavya, samyak vyavasito isa. A person who's fixed in determination to serve Krishna is considered a sadhu, no matter what. If he's fixed in the determination to serve Krishna, then he's a sadhu. Doesn't matter what the internet says, doesn't matter what the people in general say, doesn't matter this or that. Krishna says, if he's fully determined to serve me, then sadhu reva. He's definitely a sadhu. Samyak vyavasito isa, because he's determined. Let me be always engaged in the service of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any questions, comments? Yes. Is there a second microphone? You can speak loud. That's a very good capability.
Any taste for devotional service, I get proud of it and I lose the taste.
Anytime you get a taste for devotional service, you get proud of it and you lose the taste. How to get rid of this, how to break this cycle, how to get rid of this.
Fault-finding mentality.
Second is how to get rid of a fault-finding mentality. Let's do the first one first. And then you'll remind me of the second one because I'll have forgotten it by then. It's instructive. I get a little taste, and then I get a little proud, then the taste goes. The gopis were dancing with Krishna or associating with Krishna. They thought we're the most fortunate women in the universe. Krishna disappeared. So it's instructive that we should get it, that as soon as I get a little proud, I lose the taste. As soon as I get a little proud, I lose the taste. So what should I do? I should be a little humble because even though I've got a little taste, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get proud and I'm going to lose it. You know, what kind of, like, imagine you're a big businessman. What's your reputation? You make a lot of money and then you lose it. And then you make a lot more money and then you lose it. That puts you like in the fool's 500. intelligent person thinks I made so much money, but I lost it by carelessness, or what's the word, overconfidence. So now if I make money again, I should be very careful. So we should think that we should get the instruction. Amanina, amanadena, trinadapi, shunichena, toradapi, sishna. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chant humbly, chant humbly. Okay, then the second one. Fault finding. Fault finding is very good, just we should start with ourselves. And when we've come to the end of our own faults, then we can start on everyone else. Is that all right? Yes. Are you loud too? No. Let's give her a microphone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you. Srila Prabhupada says that to not marry is first class for women also. He says, what is the use of material husband?
Start again.
Srila
Prabhupada
Prabhupada
said,
not to marry is first class.
not to marry is first class.
And then somebody asked, women also? And he said, women also. What is the use of material husband? So can you make a comment on this?
Yay! Yes, that's first class. If we can skip all of this, that's first class. Just the yes, don't even get started. Just stay out of it altogether. I've had so many lifetimes of sense gratification. So if I use this one lifetime for Krishna, what's the loss? Man, woman, none of us are these bodies. If I can give this one life for Krishna, then that's my success. Women may find it more difficult, therefore the general recommendation is that women should be married. Men may also find it difficult, then all right, don't play around, get married. But if we can skip the whole thing, that's better. What's easier, to get into the Chakravyuha and then get out of it? If we can skip the whole thing, that's better. Otherwise, marry, be Krishna conscious, and then after some time, be done with married life. That's also important. Grihastha life is not supposed to be eternal. Brahmachari, Grihastha, then Vanaprastha, then sannyas. Is that okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for your sobering words of wisdom.
I'm just reading.
In connection with Priyavrata Maharaj and his wife Bahismati, there is one purport where Prabhupada explains that only very Brahminical men don't need that feminine energy to be inspired. So it seems like, especially for men, to remain brahmachari is not just a question of whether he can be celibate, but there is the subtlety there that unless he is really Brahminical, he needs that feminine encouragement. And well, if I may share this, I have also observed if a brahmachari is not properly situated, then he tends to steal that feminine energy by giving attention to the ladies, by preaching to them and guiding them. And then she might think, oh, he wants to marry me. He's so nice to me. And then when the temple president asks him, what? I'm a brahmachari. I'm just preaching to her. So there is this stealing going on.
This
Stealing of
stealing.
stealing some drops of
Stealing
that,
from?
some drops
Yeah.
of that feminine energy.
Mm.
So that's cheating. So yes. Oh, I have this all the time, that the ladies are coming to me and asking me for guidance, what to do in these situations.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I really feel not just the question of, oh, I'm going to bite my teeth and I not even get into the whole thing, but no, are we Brahminical enough that we don't need that feminine energy? And I dare say that's also one reason why so many sannyasis could not maintain their position, because they were not Brahminical enough to actually be without this feminine energy. So could you shed some light on this?
Well, taking that last point, that so many sannyasis leave because they were not Brahminical enough to do without the feminine energy. That's maybe, we have to look and see what's the cause and what's the effect. The cause and effect may not always be the same. Sometimes he was perfectly fine. He was doing very well without the feminine energy. But then somehow he becomes careless and he associates with the personification of feminine energy. And then he's not so Brahminical after all of a sudden. So so both things are there. Maybe that someone really wasn't fit to be a sannyasi. He was, internally, he's looking for false prestige, but internally he's also hoping for that some girls will be attracted to such a nice sannyasi or whatever it is. So that won't help us. Or he's not hoping that, but he's not freed from that tendency. Then it will be difficult. But also, sannyasi is perfectly good, perfectly nice. But if he's careless, the butter-fire effect will come into play. It's not that the butter-fire effect doesn't affect Brahmins. It does. It affects Brahma, Brahmin number one. Therefore, one has to be very careful. Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, the microphone.
Maybe this is a little encouragement for brahmacharis.
Good.
I won't mention the personality, who is a very elevated devotee in our movement. He was asked, it says that behind every successful man there is a woman. So what about brahmacharis? That was the question. And he said, Srimati Radharani for brahmacharis. In other words, they get that spiritual energy and not just the material energy.
Yeah, what does Prabhupada call it? The feminine counterpart of Krishna. The merciful feminine counterpart of Krishna. So that's the real feminine energy. In the material world, we have masculine, feminine. but they're shadows or reflections of the real masculine feminine. So the devotees are after the ultimate feminine energy. What is that? Haha Prabhu Nandashuta Vrishabhanushuta Yuta. The Narottam Das Thakur. That the masculine and feminine energies have appeared together in the person of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, one who gets the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets more energy than the person who's energized by the, what is it, the ever-ready bunny or whatever it was, the little... Yeah, anyway, that's American advertising. He gets more energy than from the reflection. Material feminine energy is the reflection of the spiritual energy. So from the reflection we can get a little something, just like from the reflection of the sun, you get some light. But it's not the same as standing in the sun. So if we get some energy from feminine association, therefore, Prabodhananda Saraswati says, for one who's gotten even the slightest shred of mercy from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even liberation seems like hell. What to speak of going to the heavenly planets? And the senses become like serpents with broken fangs. Therefore, the real thing is to get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not just to grit our teeth and say, nah, nah, nah. But if one is fully engaged in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he gets the full mercy of life, becomes completely successful. Going back to Devaki's question, the Shravanam Kirtanam Keli, Smaranam, what is that? Shravanam Kirtanam Keli, Prekshanam Guya Bhashanam, Sankalpo Vyabhavayascha. There's not just one kind of sex to be avoid, but Smaranam, thinking about sex life. Kirtanam, sex kirtan. The speaking about sex life, talking about sex life, glorifying. Smaranam, kirtanam, keli, playing around, joking around with the women, cutting jokes, showing how clever you are, teasing. Smaranam, kirtanam, keli, prekshanam, checking out how the girl looks. Guya bhashanam. Then getting together with the girl in a private place, secluded place. Now we're making progress. We've gone from smaranam, just thinking, then to talking, then to playing around. Now it comes to guya bhashanam, private talks. Then sankalpa, determination. Oh, this is too good. We have to have this. This relationship cannot be passed up. It's sent by Krishna. Sankalpo vyavavayascha, making endeavors now. How can we get together? How can we? And color sampatti, finally sex life. All of these should be avoided. And yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he saw that the wife of Shivananda Sen was pregnant, so he said that this child should be given an auspicious name, Puridas. But with Haridas Jr., he was he banished him. Prabhupada said because he was opposed to the policy of drinking water underwater while taking a bath on a fast day. Yesterday was Ekadasi, so someone may say, I'm going to chant 64 rounds and fast all day. I'll fast even from water. Maybe Nirjal Ekadashi, no water even. Everybody's impressed. Oh, he's not even drinking water. It's Ekadashi. But then when he goes to take bath, while he's under the water, he drinks. So, as you said, stealing, cheating, so that we should not do. There's a kind of ice cream, you know those ice cream trucks that go around selling ice cream cones and things? There's a particular kind of ice cream in America, at least. It's vanilla ice cream, and then it has kind of a shell around it of, no, not chocolate. That's one kind, yeah, chocolate. And another kind is orange. Vanilla with this nice orange shell. That's called a creamsicle. Those who are looking for, anyway, it's called a creamsicle. And it's also, I heard in America, brahmachari slang for such a brahmachari. He's orange on the outside and white in the middle. And as soon as he has a desire in his mind, he thinks, oh my God, I better be a grahastha, otherwise I'm dishonest, I'm being a hypocrite. Atmavan. Atmavan means there's some control that's executed. That all right, calm down, control your mind. But the real thing is to become Krishna conscious so that he's not attracted even. He thinks, no, come on, forget it. What is that? Raso varjam rasopyasya param drishva nivartate. So both things are there. If one is really, one has to have feminine energy, association of the feminine energy to be encouraged, then be honest, marry and be happy. No, not, I have to be a first class cheating man. Better to be honestly second class than pretentiously and dishonestly first class. First class is best, but if we can't be first class, then be second class. Even be third class, be fifth class, but somehow or other be Krishna conscious. Just be Krishna conscious. And then step by step we'll come to first class. The householder life is actually meant for renunciation. How is that? The grahastha is supposed to retire from family life and become a vanaprastha. After vanaprastha, there may be sannyas. Not that I'll enjoy sense gratification till I'm 93 and a half. So the whole process is actually meant for detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna. So if we can fast track it by skipping the whole family thing, so much the better. Otherwise, let me do it, and also let me know how to get out of the chakravyuha. Not that now that I'm in family life, I'm meant to stay here forever. I've found my swabhav, I've found my eternal dharma. No. My eternal home. No. And it's hard to get free from here. Let me just not get started. But if I get started, then let me have an exit plan also. Garda Muni got married, but he told the father-in-law from the beginning, I'll stay in family life till there's a child, then I'm off. exit plan. All right, something else? Yes.
This is about like this, but then we see later on he was not only, I think it was encouraged or instructed by the Supreme Lord to take up Grihastha life in order to continue the lineage of the demons.
Oh, Prahlad Maharaj, Priyavrata Maharaj, they're encouraged, yes, you become a householder. But what kind of householders were they? If our whole movement were full of only householders, and if all the householders were like that, what could be better? Yes.
Maharaj, but neither one wanted that.
Excuse me?
Neither Prahlad nor...
No, they didn't want it, but anyway. So like sometimes no one wants to become temple president. What can be done? Yeah, there's some questions. I saw some more hands. Yeah. Don't trip, please.
Humble obeisance to you, Maharaj. The questions are based around service. So yesterday, me and a devotee friend, we were discussing service. And I said, how was your day today? And the reply was, yeah, I don't really think I was doing service because this is a service that I'm kind of like, I like doing. I do it all the time, so it doesn't feel like service. The conversation was like, when we do something hard, then it feels like service. But when I'm doing something that I'm kind of good at doing, it doesn't feel like service. So Maharaj, can you give us some help?
That's nice. And of course, the ordinary thing that we do, our baseline work, that's service. But if a person thinks, if a devotee thinks that I'm just doing, the ordinary, I want to do more, that's nice. What service am I doing? Let me do more. And it's wonderful. The pujari thinks, what am I doing? Let me do more. Book distributor thinks, let me do more. The cook thinks, let me do more.
So it's okay to do service and not feel like it's service?
Sure.
Thank you, Maharaj.
This is my ordinary life. I want to do some service. I distribute 100 books every day. I want to distribute 200. That's nice. Wonderful. All right. Who's running the show here? Tell me, I need some instructions. Do I stop? Do I go? That was it. Okay. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jayadvaita Maharaja ki jai. Hare Krishna. So now the darshan is calling, and afterwards you can also